of the 3rd District of Masbate, Honorable Dr. Scott Davis-Lanete, who provided the computer paraphernalia. He's also provided food and accommodation to 117 out-of-school youth during the whole training period. Also, our thanks to the Honorable Mayor Natividad Isabel Rivel Magbalon of Milagros. Mayor, salamat. Naanapod tayo program. After na lang sa akong speech na ko isulti nimo. And the former congressman and now of the 1st District and now the Honorable Mayor of San Fernando, Honorable Mayor Narciso Bong Bravo Jr. for sponsoring the food allowances of 18 out-of-school youth. We also acknowledge the support of Plan International Masbate for sponsoring 2 out-of-school youth victims of abuse. At this juncture, may I ask for a 5-minute break? Focus. With the statistics shown for the last 3 years, we could hardly move on to the national benchmark. Access to safe water showed 66.80%, 63.75%, and 66.48% for 2010, 2011, and 2012, respectively, despite the completion of the DOH Salentubig project in Kawayan, Placer, Uson, Katayngan, San Jacinto, and Claveria in 2012. Access to sanitary facilities showed 44.23%, 45.93%, and 45.72% for 2010, 2011, and 2012, respectively. The Water and Sanitation Program of World Bank, in partnership with UNICEF, is providing technical assistance to selected municipalities in Masbate to demonstrate rural sanitation approaches and interventions that will support the achievement of universal access to improve sanitation. The Provincial and Natural Resources Office of the Provincial Government of Masbate, headed by Dr. Wayne Laurio, was able to maintain the increasing revenue collection during my term from 313 million pesos in 2010 to 1.373 million pesos, 1.593 million pesos, and 1.66 million pesos during the last 3 years, or a 393 increase. The significant increase in the revenue tax collected from sand, gravel, earthfill, and other quarry and mineral resources was due to an intensified, aggressive monitoring, inspection, and regulation of quarry activities in the province. The formulation of Provincial Mining Regulatory Board is another major accomplishment of my administration, aimed at formulating and implementing rules and regulations related to small-scale mining activities in the province and declaration of the Minahang Bayan, or small-scale miners. The board has already passed 2 resolutions relative to the proclamation of the proposed Minahang Bayan area located at Barangay Tinago and Barangay Habuyuan, Aroroy, Masbate. In like manner, approval of Executive Order on operational of the Provincial Office on Environment and Natural Resources Management in accordance with the Masbate Provincial Environment Code is now in process. Once the signing of EO is done, the operation and delivery of services of PENRO and provincial fisheries and aquatic resources shall be automatically merged into a single office called the Provincial Office on Environment and Natural Resources Management. On environmental protection and management, the provincial government has intensified its information and education campaign on environmental issues through the conduct of numerous symposia in the different secondary schools province-wide. Likewise, series of tree planting activities, which included roadside and mangrove site planting, were conducted in support of the National Greening Program. In observance of the Global Coastal Cleanup celebrations, we have conducted yearly coastal cleanup. Similarly, there were 2 fishermen's forums conducted in the municipality of Aroroy and Balod on April 11, 2012 and April 26, 2012, respectively. The activity was done in order to address problems on illegal fishing in their territorial waters. Energy and in electronic advancement. On July 2010, barely a month to my assumption of office, I was confronted with a huge problem that could greatly affect the entire province. I was presented with a report that Agreco, the then power supplier of Maselco, was pulling out of the province, which meant the stoppage of energy supply to Maselco. The consequence was that the entire province would be without power. A total blackout once the pull-out was finally done. I could not, in my wildest imagination, allow such a thing to happen to my people. Outright, I called for a meeting among the stakeholders involved in the energy sector to discuss the situation. Right after, I traveled to Manila with the Vice Governor Vince Rivell and met with the Department of Energy, NAPOCOR, and DMCI, asking for help regarding the power situation of our province. The timeline was less than a week before the pull-out. Let me humbly say that the efforts we have made in my capacity as your Chief Executive has handsomely paid off. We now have the MCI as the power provider of Maselco. We have power in the province. At present, DMCI has readily assured sufficient power supply to the entire province, being that they still have a reserve and untapped power of 7.5 megawatts. With the current power challenges, the construction of 69 kVA to be targeted and planned by NAPOCOR for 2015 will address the problem of blackouts and minimize system loss. By this, there will only be selective brownouts on cases of line problems, if any. Significantly, the commercial operation status since 2010 in the province has improved and the power consumption has increased and is interpreted as to the economic growth by 47.44%. Basically, for the whole Region 5, Masbate province was noted to achieve the cheapest average system rate of 7.55 per kWh and with an average power rate of 5.11 per kilowatt hour as paid by